guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be a one brand tutorial featuring Makeup Forever. I actually did a one brand tutorial featuring Makeup Forever like a year or two ago, but I did a bright red lip and neutral eye. So today I decided to do a mauvey pink lip with pinky purpley eye. So let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, so the first product I'm going to be using is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, the Smoothing Primer. And I do like this primer a lot. I think it does a good job. I definitely have some texture and stuff going on. I'm pre-filming this before baby, but you probably won't see it for a few weeks. Trying to stay ahead. So I'm just applying a little bit of that. It's kind of like a tan color. I don't love the way it smells, but it works well. Alright, and then I'm using the Makeup Forever HD foundation. This is actually the old Makeup Forever HD foundation, not the new launch that was like over a year ago. So this is an N123. Then I'm just tapping on a second layer anywhere I need some extra coverage, which is my cheeks and chin area. Not adding any additional product, I'm just kind of blending that down my neck and making sure it matches. Alright, now I'm using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Concealer in Y23. This is a little too light for me at this moment, but I actually kind of like it that way. It's very brightening. As you can see, it's very light though. And you don't need very much product. I'm using that same foundation brush actually. Also tapping it down the nose. And then I'm going to switch to a new brush. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush, just because this is clean and it's going to not have too much product on it. It'll allow me to blend it out much faster. I'm using this concealer also to prime my eyes for shadow. Makes a pretty decent base. This brush has mostly foundation, but a little bit of the concealer, so I'm putting it like right underneath that contour line that I'm going to create. It'll brighten it up. And then for powder, this is the Makeup Forever HD setting powder. I have a sample of it. It is on a little card, but it's a translucent setting powder. I'm using the Jessup Tapered Highlighter Brush. As you can see, there is product on here. I'm going to use that underneath the eyes. I'm also going to go ahead and set my eyelids with it. Since I did use that concealer to prime my eyes. There wasn't too much powder on here. I'm just kind of taking the remainder. For bronzer, I'm using the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo in the shade number 1. And it is a bronzer and a highlighter in one. The highlighter is the pinkier version. They have two of this. I think the number 1 is the pinky cool tone version, and then the number 2 is the like orangey and a yellow based highlighter. But I'm using that bronzer. Using the bronzer, it's pretty light to accentuate the cheekbones. I'm trying not to take anything too far because I have some acne right here, so I'm just kind of stopping it back there. Whereas normally I might carry that contour line or bronzer line a little bit closer towards the mouth. I'm just stopping it where my acne kicks up. And I'm taking what's left on the brush down the sides of the nose to contour that. And then I'm just taking a little bit on the bronzer brush. It's a very small brush to be doing this, but I have it in my hand, so that's what I'm using to just bronze up the hairline a little bit. Okay, and then I'll use the same brush, the Jessup Tapered Highlighter Brush, for the highlighter in this set. And then no additional product on the brush. Right down the center of the face. For lips, I'm using a Makeup Forever lip liner. This is Aqua Lip 3C, which is like a nudie mauvey pink. I'm going to line my lips and then fill them in. So it's kind of like a nude everyday pinky liner. And then I'm going on top of that with the Makeup Forever Artist Plexigloss in the shade 202, which is a peachy pink gloss. Like a nude peachy pink. Blush, I didn't forget. I'm actually using a Makeup Forever eyeshadow. This is the Artist eyeshadow in the shade M806. It's called Antique Pink. And it works. It's a pretty blush. It's kind of a satin finish. Very pigmented. You don't need much. A little goes a long way. But I like that I did the highlighter, which is pretty intense, below, like underneath the blush. So this blush is kind of blending in with that highlight. So I think that's a really pretty cheek look. I may take a clean brush and kind of buff it out so it doesn't look so harsh. So this is a clean makeup brush. I'm just making sure I'm all blended over here. I don't want any harsh lines. Now let's move on to the eyes. Alright, I went ahead and tied back my hair because it was just making me crazy. So my eyes are ready to go. Let's go ahead and play. I'm going to be using Makeup Forever Artist eyeshadows in there, and here, and here. I'll just tell you the names of the shadows as I'm using them. But I am going to need to fill in my brows, so let's take a chance. I'm going to try the shade M536 Milk Tea. It is a powder eyeshadow, but I'm going to use a small angle brush to try to fill in my brows. I'm actually going to mix in a little bit of M618 Espresso. So the dark brown up here, and then that tannish color over here. Okay, they may be a little bit intense right now, so I'm going to brush them out. Alright, so I went ahead and finished one eye so I could show you. It's kind of like a plum, pinky, fun, sparkly eye, but it's still natural enough. I think anybody could wear it. It's not like it's like boom, you know, glitter and stuff. Okay, so the first color I used was actually the color I used for my blush, Antique Pink, and I'm just using a fluffy NYX blending brush. I'm using that in the crease and slightly above the crease, back and forth. I will keep a little bit of product on this brush, set it aside, and come back to it for blending in a minute. Then I'm using the shade called I524, which is an iridescent finish. It's like a natural, like nudie, shimmery shade. Really pretty for the lid. I'm just using a flat eyeshadow brush and tapping that on the lid. And taking that same color and putting that on the inner corner of the eye for brightness. And then adding M530, which is up here. It's an off-white shade, so this one here and this one here. And using that, it's called, you know, it's a natural matte finish. Same brush, and just making that brow look a little more lifted, making the eye area look brightened. So we're almost there with the eye look, actually. Then I'm going in with the shade D826. It's a diamond finish. I think, if I remember correctly, it's something about garnet. It's right there. This was a holiday gift set. I pulled it out of the box that it was in for storage purposes. But yeah, this garnet shade is a diamond finish, so I don't want to go too heavy-handed in the crease with something that's kind of shimmery and glittery, but I don't think it's that shimmery and glittery. You really can't tell. So I'm just using that as kind of like my crease shade here. I think that looks really pretty. We're almost done. Then I took this Makeup Forever Aqua XL eye pencil. This is in M510, basically a black pencil liner. And I did a very skinny, small line close to the lash line on the top lash line. And then I got real smoky. This is a Sigma E34 domed utility brush. It's kind of like a pencil brush, but it's rounded. The Makeup Forever eyeshadow in M822 Plum, which is right up here. It is a plum shade on this brush, and I actually just like went over that black liner as it was still a little bit smudgeable. It hasn't like completely set yet. And mostly on the outer eye, but tiny bit on the inner corner area, I just added a little bit of that plum shade on top of the black liner. And I feel like it gave a really nice smoky look to it. And then I just took whatever was left on that brush of the plum shade and like added a little emphasis here to the outer V, like drew a V there to add some depth, dimension. I'm going to darken up the other side. Alright, so obviously I need to do some blending. I look a little crazy right now. So this is the pink shade that I use as the transition shade. And I am blending out the edges mostly. And then I'm going into the shade I used on the lid, that I-524 on a flat brush, making sure the lid is still bright, still pops. Then I'm going to apply some Makeup Forever Smoky Extravagance Mascara. Oh, I forgot. The domed utility brush with Plum, I just ran that. No additional product. Still had some product on it, and I just ran it on the lower lash line. That's what the color you see underneath here. But yeah, I'm just going to apply some Makeup Forever mascara. I'll be right back. Alright, that's the finished eye look. Okay, so I'm just going to apply some setting spray. I don't have one by Makeup Forever, and that completes the makeup look. I love the way that the Makeup Forever products apply to the face. I think they last a good long time. I could probably use just Makeup Forever for all of my makeup for the rest of my life if I had to. It's one of those brands where I feel like they have a large enough line, a big enough selection, multiple lipstick finishes, multiple foundations, multiple concealers to choose from, you know, different powders, so you can actually make it work. And they have, I don't know, like 200 of these eyeshadows that you can really find anything you're looking for. The only downside is it's kind of pricey. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.